What's up everyone, ODC here, and I'm back with another action figure review. Today's review, we're going back in time. We're going to take a look at the DC Universe Classics Legion of Superheroes 12-pack exclusive. Well, actually, I think it was believed to be technically a 13-pack, but we're not going to count the Invisible Boy because there was nothing in the package. So, but here is the very elusive, very expensive Karate Kid that we're going to take a look at today. And I got to say that I'm very pleased to finally add him to my collection. And let me do a little bit of the rotation here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Looks really good. I like the sculpting of the gauntlets, as you can see right there. Obviously, he's got the big... why would they put that on his rear end like that? But... for the most part, he's usually standing facing forward, not from the behind section, but still, why on earth would you put that on the rear end portion of his jacket? Looks really cool, looks very 70s of him. He is from the 31st century, and he is a master of all martial arts. Yes, all martial arts, even up to the 31st century. And he also has a very vague power where he can, I guess, he can spot the weaknesses in different types of materials, which is very strange, but pretty unique to the character as well. So, I mean, if he hits you a certain way, or if he hits a piece of metal a certain way, he can actually crack the metal. So that's pretty cool. I like that. He is just a human. He doesn't have any real superpowers. It's mostly just the knowledge and the artistry of knowing martial arts and having the discipline to use said martial arts. So he's your hand-to-hand combat guy in the group for the most part. He's going to be the go-to guy. He looks really cool, though. Very simplistic as far as the design goes. Let me just stop his rotation really quick, and we'll get to his design portion. Let me get him in here very closely so you can take a look at the face. Face looks pretty cool. So as far as price point goes, really quick, I just wanted to point this out for Karate Kid before we get to like paint and detail. He's around the $100 mark regularly. I have seen him a couple times for around the $80, $90, but he's sticking around that price point for some reason on the eBay market. I was lucky enough to find this guy for $60 even, and that was with free shipping. So I got pretty lucky, but I haven't seen him for lower than $70, $80 in the entire time I've been searching for him. So this was a very lucky pickup for me. And even at $60, I mean, that's a lot of money for just one DC Universe Classics figure. He did come in his little clamshell packaging from the exclusive pack that he was a part of, but you know, you're essentially just getting one figure, and I already see this weird like thing right here. It's distracting me. But as far as price point does go, he's going to be around that price, around the 70 and up price point. So if you really want this guy, and maybe you got the set in mind, I would just go after the whole set, especially if he's included, and so is Superboy. I know those are the two more sought after figures from this wave, but the price point aside, obviously he's going to be expensive and hard to find, but the price point aside, let's take a look at his sculpt and articulation. Let me get his arms down here. Now, he does have double-jointed elbows, and not... Now, if you guys remember the old DC Universe Classics, a lot of them didn't really come with double-jointed elbows. It was few and far between that you got figures with them. I think there's a couple, like maybe Larfleeze got one. We got double-jointed elbows. Toyman got double-jointed elbows. Only a few, I think St. Walker got double-jointed elbows as well. So it's few and far between that you did get them. But when you got them, you were pretty pleased. And they do get really good range of motion. For the most part, the DC Universe Classics, even with the single-jointed elbows, they at least got 90 degrees. And that's pretty much what you needed. We got a little bit of a paint sculpted detail defect right here on the knuckle, which kind of sucks because, you know, this was a brand new figure out of the clamshell, so it's just a paint factory defect. Nothing really on this. Oh, no, we got one right there. There's another one. Boom, right there. Thank God, nothing wrong with the face. Oh, nope, spoke too soon. Didn't I speak too soon? Yep, we certainly did. Look at that. Right on the nose. That's not fun. I know likey. But I'm still glad to have the figure. That's not very good as far as the paint goes so far for quality control. On the back, there's like some scuffing and some like shit all over the back of his collar. I don't know what's going on here. The previous owner never took him out of the clamshell because the clamshell was sealed with the original factory tape, and I had to break the tape open. So they got some like scuffing and crap all over here, which does kind of annoy the hell out of me. But always in the face. I swear to God, every defect I get, there's always some sort of defect with the face. I could get over this, and I could get over this, but the nose. Why the nose? Looks like he got a big booger hanging out of his nose. Anyway, so the face itself, though, the sculpt looks really good. This is a Four Horsemen design again, and God, do I miss them doing the DC figures. So hopefully one day maybe we'll get that back again. The sculpt of the gi, the karate gi here, is pretty cool. It's kind of very specific that his name is Karate Kid, but yet he's a master of all martial arts. So wouldn't he be martial arts man now when he grows up? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think. But the karate gi, the very 70s karate gi, is pretty cool looking. It's very, like I said, retro. I like the yellow that's used. It's bright. It's vibrant. A little bit of paint slop down here. Not the end of the world, just something I'm pointing out. A little bit the nice vibrant yellow continues, and it does match. So does this yellow and that yellow. They all match each other, which is nice. So there's no differentiation between the yellows. I like the fact that they went with these kind of like brown leather style wrist gauntlets right here. It looks really cool. And then with the gold on there as well, looks very nicely done. I can appreciate that quite a bit. And like I said, the double jointed elbows look really good. I kind of wish that his arms would settle a little bit more naturally. He's kind of got this like power stance going, but he does look good even if you want to leave him in this neutral stance, kind of like he's prepared for battle, or he's doing a superhero posing, like he's looking up in the sky and he's, yes, I am ready to defeat Validus. Let's go. But the legs look really cool. Pretty plain and basic. It's just black plastic. And then we have some painted boots. A little bit of slop right here on the leg. I'm just pointing this stuff out. A little bit of slop right there on the boot. And the painted gray boots for the bottom. He does have 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet. So pretty basic kind of figure. There's not he's not necessarily the best as far as quality control goes, as far as some of the scuffs and scrapes on him, and especially him being a very hard to get figure. I would really take a hard, close look, and if you're looking for one on eBay, I would kind of maybe message your seller and ask him to send you, he or her, to send you maybe some more photos of the figure before you get it, so you don't have, defects like I do. It's not, to me, I don't know, it doesn't really matter that much to me. I'm just happy to have the figure. But when you do pay $60 at a premium for a more rare figure, you kind of hope and pray that you get a good one. Obviously, I didn't get the best one, but it's not necessarily the end of the world for me. I like the sculpted black belt right here. Looks really cool. He does not have different degrees on his belt, which is odd, seeing he's a master of all martial arts. I would assume that he would have multiple different belts on him, and maybe that would be a pretty cool idea for an updated design. Maybe he's got multiple different martial arts belts on him. The ones that do use the belts. That would be pretty cool if he had multiple belts around his waist with different degrees on them. But like I said, I really like this brown. It does break up the monotony of the yellow and the black, and the gray also helps break up that monotony. But the brown really does help as well, that brown leather, and it's like a darker brown, so it does look really nice. The sculpted ring here with the Legionnaire symbol looks very well done. You can see the L in there. They did a pretty good job with that sculpt, did the Four Horsemen. And that's why the Four Horsemen are some of my favorite sculptors and toy creators. Obviously, Mythic Legions, you know. They did a pretty good job with that. You know, it's okay. It's not the best. It's not the worst. But they did a really good job. I'm pretty pleased with it. These are just pretty much just buckles on each side. There's a little bit of paint slop on that side. It almost looks like a sculpted defect right there on the gauntlet. If you guys can see that. Oh, it's a little blurry. There we go. But just pointing that stuff out, can we focus? We can. Good job. As far as his articulation does go, the head can swivel, not at a full 360 rotation, but you don't really need to swivel his head around unless you want to snap his neck and kill him. The head can actually look up pretty well. Now, this was kind of a rarity with DC Universe Classics. They didn't have the best articulation looking up. They were on a ball peg joint, no hinge. So a lot of them, especially the Batman figures, were very limited looking up, but he can look up. And he can look a little bit down. That's neutral, so that's down. Not too great. No pivot at the neck joint. There's a little teeny jive turkey. That's it. Not a lot. Arms go up about that far. They go down. Full 360 rotation in the arm. Like I said, he's got a double jointed elbow right here, and you really kind of have to work with that elbow to get it going. It is kind of frozen. He's also brand new out of the package, so I'm trying to really get him to work that double jointed elbow. But there you go. There's full max elbowage. He does have a bicep swivel. He does have a swivel at the wrist, no hinge joint. So his wrists are just kind of fixed like that. They don't pop in and out. They don't go up and down. None of that. He does have an ab crunch, but it's hidden really in this karate gi he's got on. So it is very hindering for the ab crunch, but it can move a little bit. It doesn't also want to stay in place that well. I mean, it will a little bit, but then it starts to want to push back a little bit. He does have a waist twist also, right at the karate gi, so that's pretty nice. He does have T-jointed hips, but they're kind of hindered with the karate gi, but you can still get him to do splits, so that's good. And the legs go forward, and those are hindered quite a bit as far as that's concerned due to the gi. Upper thigh swivel, single jointed knee. I kind of wish he had double jointed knees, but they didn't dish those out to us collectors that commonly back then. No boot swivel or anything like that. That's what you got the thigh swivel for. He does have an ankle hinge, points to toe, points to heel. And that is pretty much it for articulation, sculpt, detail, all that for Karate Kid. Reunited and it feels so good. Okay, no more singing from me. The Legion of Superheroes is now complete. Somewhere around here is Invisible Boy. Where is he? Is he there? Maybe he's here. Okay, bad jokes aside. But here's the whole set, and I'm so finally happy to be able to get this silly set done. It has been so long. I want to thank Chapman Films for getting me the majority of these figures. He got me, actually, I want to say, the most of this set, I think, except for Ultra Boy. And I think the rest he got for me. So, I can't thank him enough for that all those years ago. And he got me a really good Superboy with no Superman cape syndrome. So that cape is nicely tucked in. Looks very well done. And so thank you, Chapman Films, and for the help with this all those years ago. And I'm so glad to finally put this one in the record books and saying that I own all of the Legionnaires. So very pleased with that. Karate Kid, he's okay. He is hindered due to the gi. He's also an older figure. He's got a couple quality control issues with mine, at least. Hopefully, if you guys are trying to track one down, hopefully you don't receive the same kind of quality control issues that I did. Like I said, I could have got past both the hands having a little bit of paint defects, but that nose kind of does bother me a little bit. It's not the end of the world, but it's just something that I'll always know is there. Other than that, I enjoy the figure. I think he looks perfect with the rest of the group, and very pleased to put him with my display, them fighting Validus and getting the better of him. So with that being said, like I said, I would, I don't know, I guess I would give this set definitely a 2 thumbs up. It's a very well done set, and I think Karate Kid's a very well done figure. I'm glad that I think he's the only one that got double jointed elbows in this entire set. Everybody else has single jointed elbows. So at least you got double jointed elbows with the martial arts master. So at least that. It would have been nice to get double jointed knees too with him, but back then with DC Universe Classics, that was a very big, tall order to request from them at the time. Overall, I love all the sculpts of these figures, and I think the Four Horsemen with the DC Universe Classics line, it's where the DC figures really shined. You noticed a significant difference with the Multiverse line when they weren't doing figures. So with these, pretty pleased with the set. Love the set. Maybe one day I'll do a full retrospective of the or overview of the entire set, but I'm pretty pleased with all of these. I'm pretty pleased with Karate Kid, and that's pretty much it for me. Like I said, the articulation on him is, you can see it's older DC Universe Classics, but it works. I've never really had any issues with a DC Universe Classics falling over or having crazy loose joints. For the most part, they usually have pretty tight joints, and I've been displaying my DC Universe Classics since I started getting them all those years ago. So no issues really with the articulation quality control. It's just a little bit of the paint here and there with this set overall, and with Karate Kid. I like the brown gauntlets. I like the sculpted and painted gold ring for his Legionnaire ring. I like the karate gi. I like the breakup of the different color variations between the gi and his gauntlets and his boots and his, I guess you want to call that his under body suit. I don't know. But he looks pretty cool. I like him. He's in the classic look, and I can appreciate that. And yeah, I would also recommend picking him up for the right price. Obviously, I would not recommend you spending $100. I mean, I even feel bad spending $60 on this guy, but he is a rare figure. So, but with that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.